right, welcome back to the show this evening. Today, we have a guest returning for the third time. First, he brought us killer sloths, and then he took us on a zombie date night, and now he's back with his holiday-inspired horror comedy. And I have my Krampus shirt on, so we're good. I have my Christmas ale here, so let's watch the video promo that's on Kickstarter. Then we'll bring in Steve and his co-writer. So. All right, always a cool video as always. So let's go ahead and bring in Steve and Misty and find out more about this. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Happy X MASCHINA to you and to all that are watching.
Very nice. I always love the videos that you include on your Kickstarter promos.
Thank you. So that video was done by his name is Frankie Morales. He put that together for us. And it sells the comic perfectly. Santa fighting robots. What's better than that? And and of course, I've come to the show many times, but this time I'm not alone. Co-creator and Christmas Wonderland person, aficionado, Misty Graves.
Hi.
Welcome.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me on the show, Chad.
Nope. Well, thanks for taking the time out to talk because, it's talking with Steve the past 2 times has always been a great time, and it's nice to finally get to talk to his partner in crime, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Partner in crime, but I love your Krampus shirt and your holiday beer. That is perfect, perfect for the occasion.
Yeah, perfect. We all matched.
Yeah, well, there was an email I sent out, and
yeah, we all got it. All good.
So before we get into talking about the project, I mean, we've talked to Steve before about his, I guess, journey in comics. Misty, tell us a little bit about yours. Do you remember the first comic you read, or maybe what inspired you to, want to try to write one yourself?
Sure. So when I was younger, like a little kid, I really loved comic strips in the Sunday papers, and I loved the artist Bill Watterson and the Far Side comics, and I even really liked For Better or For Worse. I'm not sure if you read that one, but it's like these are like all really old comic strips that people liked back in the day.
I'm 43, so
you remember? Oh my gosh! Okay, I'm like, you gotta know what I just realized in the previous interviews that I mentioned newspapers, and I'm like, I don't know if people know what those are anymore. So I might have to stop talking about that.
Not for this one. This one is part of a paper.
Oh my gosh, fantastic! That's right. It's the Times blog, so perfect.
Used to be part of a paper, but that's a
sure. Water under the bridge. So I guess that's a little bit about just when I was much younger. I got into comics a bit in college with some indie writers, like Dame Darcy, who creates these kind of fantastical Victorian black and white comics that are her characters gallivanting around a fantasy land, very romantic, spooky, haunted. It's just kind of like an indulgence in fantasy, and I really liked that. I always kind of had this vision of comics as being like for guys, it's like Cape Crusaders, and it's not written for me, and that's fine, it's whatever. I'll stick to my indie comic stuff, feminist indie comic stuff. But then I went into a comic book store maybe like 7 years ago looking for some more X-Files comics. So I started reading X-Files comics, and I was paging through, and I reached an old reprint of an EC horror from the 40s, and I was like, oh shit, this is I love this.
Candy canes.
Yeah, jelly beans. And then the owner was so friendly. He's like, if you like that, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. So, I ended up with like a lot of these anthologies, like getting really into these vintage anthologies, vintage antique. It seems weird to call a comic vintage, like a vintage, like it's a sweater, classic golden age horror anthology comics. Absolutely fell in love with them. Decided like I have to do this. I just have to become one with this. And I guess that's sort of where it all started, like the whole idea of making a comic and writing a comic and getting into comics was like a slope from comic strips in the newspaper to a little bit of indie comics in college, and then just reading them as a fan of X-Files, and then discovering vintage horror anthology and being like, oh my gosh, this stuff is amazing, and these stories are so fantastic, and you can tell them in 5 pages and you're done. Like, I love it. Like, I don't need 3 hours to tell me a story. Give me 5 pages. It's so yeah. That is how I got into comics.
Perfect. You couldn't ask for a better origin story than that. That's pretty good.
All right. That was Chad for us.
Reading and collecting comic books.
I think he's frozen.
Yeah, I think Chad is frozen again.
I was trying to point at him, but I couldn't figure it out.
Just go this way.
My fingers won't do it.
Mirrored. Yeah. And now it's just Chad.
Oh, hello, Chad.
Okay. Am I back? Okay, I'm back. That's why I record these things, and then that's why I record these things so I can do editing when I
was gonna do your voice for you. I was gonna be like, this is Chad. This is Chad's thoughts.
So Steve, you this is your next project after finishing up Zombie Date Night. How did that one end up, and how did it segue into this one, I guess?
Zombie Date Night went really well. It did double its funding on Kickstarter, which was excellent. I just got the proofs, or I just got the comics itself because of the supply chain kind of pushed things back a little bit. But I've been getting good feedback so far, been mailing it out. People have been loving it. So I'm very excited for that. But this project came about almost a year to this day, which is pretty cool. So Misty used to have a podcast with this other guy, Herman, and they had a podcast called Longbox of Darkness where they reviewed horror comics. So I sent them Slowpokes, and they had me on. We talked Slowpokes, we talked old horror comics, and we just really liked each other's energy. And I was like, you know what? I think we should collaborate. She was like, we should collaborate on something. So we just kind of pushed ideas together and figured things out. I had an idea for evil elves that I wanted to do. She had an idea where it was a kind of like a search engine, like a Google, but you put in your Christmas wish and it comes true in like the worst way possible, in like a Twilight Zone type of thing, which is an excellent idea.
So both of those.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Why don't we meld those two things together? And we can create this thing called Ex Machina, where Santa gives up his magic. He's tired, like he's tired of he's been doing this for quite some time. He's ready to retire. He's ready to go off into the sunset. His wife left him for the abominable snowman, and he's just ready to move on. So he teams up with like a Mark Zuckerberg type of character to give away his holiday magic to create an app. The app measures naughty and niceness, and of course, the app becomes sentient. And Santa has to fight the sour version of himself to save Christmas, but in robot form. That old holiday chestnut, the old holiday tale of Santa versus robot. So that's kind of how that came about. We worked on this since I think April, and we finished in July or August. And it's been a blast. It's been really cool to have a partner who's has the same sensibilities. Like there's no ego in this. It's not like, oh, my idea this, my idea that. It's not that. It's more collaboration and just figuring things out and doing what's best for the story.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Misty?
Yeah, I like the story we wrote. Yeah. Santa like Steve was saying, Santa's had it. He's had too many Christmases. He's developed some unhealthy habits. He's spent too much time on the internet. He's like a lot of us, he's a relatable character. We wanted to make him sort of an archetype of somebody maybe we would know in our real lives. And then have this story be kind of like a redemption story for him, in where he confronts the things in his life that are causing him pain and suffering, and like he gets his Christmas joy back that way. It's fun. It's mostly robots like fighting, and
but it's a deeper story than you would think. I know Chad is frozen with the best look ever of like, what is this? What are you doing? Yeah. He's like, huh? But this is it's great. It's excellent. You'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll want to punch a robot in the face. Like that's what we're trying to sell here.
Yeah, all of the things.
And this is brought to you by 5G, because if you don't have 5G, then you will be frozen.
Oh, jingle bells.
Oh, jingle bells. He'll edit this. This isn't live anyway. It's fine.
Is it a video?
You're definitely getting better at doing these, which is awesome. Like you're definitely getting into a rhythm. It's just getting those reps in, because when we're on this, people are going to ask us the same questions over and over. So we'll have that like, oh, well, this is the story. It'll start here, and these are the beats.
Yep. Yeah. I still don't really have my like origin story down. I'm just kind of like,
That's okay. That's all right. That's fine.
It's been a bit windy. It's not really been a straight line.
And we're back.
Hello.
Well, no, we're not. And we're gone. I do think there could be, if this thing does well, we do a podcast every now and then or something. I think we would have a good time doing it.
I think so, for sure. What would we do? Like, what would our?
I would love to do one on Kickstarter comics. I feel like there's not enough of that. There's not enough of a platform for that. These are good, but I think that could help people.
Yeah, like up and coming projects, and then ones that already were made.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, and give tips. I think that would work. But
yeah, that would work. That people would love that. The people would love that.
But we're back with Chad.
I'm back.
We're back.
Chad switched to his phone.
Perfect. You're actually coming in more clear now.
Yeah.
The
All
only
that
thing is,
data.
I don't know if I can switch over to the Kickstarter page, but I'll put that in later.
All right, no worries. All right, let's go back to I guess what were we talking about? We're talking about the origin story. We're talking about how Ex Machina was made. You know, we're just very excited for this comic to come out, and it all came about. It was all kind of meant to be.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about the story. I mean, you've mentioned some of it before, but you know, who are there any other main players besides like Santa Claus and you know?
Yes. Yeah, we have Santa, we have Mrs. Claus, we have the Abominable Snowman, we got elves, we got the killer robot named Slay, who is the head of all the other robots. We have elf robots, we have reindeer robots. There's the guy Jeffrey Stevens, who is the Mark Zuckerberg type of character. We got a little bit of little bit of everything that I think people will enjoy. Some familiar characters and some new faces as well that you'll hopefully grow to love or want to see them get murdered by robots.
There's a young woman character we have, Gabrielle, who is Jeffrey Stevens' assistant.
Very good in tech, you know, hacker type of person. Just trying to play into the futuristic things, but with a Christmas element as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out. Fuck you.
Sounds good. Bye.
Sounds good. That's all I need to hear. I'm done. Interview over.
I hope he just keeps all of this in. And
I hope. I think it is. I think he's recording it. I think it is still recording. Oh no, maybe it's not. Oh yeah, it is. It is. It says live. I guess.
Live, yeah.
So I hope he is keeping this in. This is now the Steve and Misty show, featuring Chad.
And sometimes Chad.
And sometimes Chad's back. So you know, you're
again.
hopefully,
This is why
you're on that
I always go live. So, all right, let's talk about the Kickstarter. What are you offering for people who want to back your project?
Misty, take it away.
Okay, so tier 1, we have digital comic. It's just $3, so it's just really accessible to pretty most people.
Yeah, everybody, yeah.
Yeah, it's $3 is pretty affordable. What is the next one? A physical comic, which I think we have priced
$6.
$6, which is really a good deal. After that, we have this signature edition, which is where you get a signed copy of Ex Machina and also a postcard that I
drawn by Misty Graves. Hold on, let's get right here.
This one, yeah. I drew a series of 5 illustrations based on our comic, and we'll be turning them into promotional postcards for the comic. So anybody who orders above
Christmas postcards.
Yeah, Ex Machina postcards. They're based on the story. So yeah, they're Christmassy in their own way, but they're also Ex Machina-y too. Xmas and Christmas.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We got t-shirts.
Yeah.
We got t-shirts, we got posters, you can get killed in the next one if this reaches our funding. Just a little bit of everything to satisfy your Christmas craving. And then once we reach our funding, we will definitely be having more stretch goals as well.
So you said is this like right now it's just a standalone one-shot type deal?
Yeah, kind of. And if it does well, there will be other issues of Ex Machina. But we'll see where things go. But I think there's so much story to be told, but we want to kind of see where people lie. Hopefully they really like it and they want more. But if this reaches our funding, we will probably do another Ex Machina. Hopefully it'll be a nice holiday tradition.
Yeah, it would be fun to do one a year and just keep building.
That'd be great. Kind of like our movie, like just a different sequel every year, just kind of expanding on the universe that we created and the characters, and until we were able to put the story in a good place.
I like what you said earlier, and before, like we were talking, and he called it Mad Max, like it's like Christmas version of Mad Max.
That's what I'm leading towards, where it's just like this Christmas thing where everybody's running amok and there's robots everywhere and there's sleigh rides and there's fighting and I just feel like there's so much that can be done within this universe of Santa fighting robots that, like, why stop having fun?
There is, because we also have like the Blade Runner corporations in there too as well. So it can go in like, multiple directions.
If you like sci-fi, if you like Christmas, if you like these type of things, this is definitely the comic for you. And if you like a little bit of humor, we got that as well.
Yeah, like really campy stuff.
So, aside from, this project, have you guys thought about possibly working on something else, down the line, or is,
I think I would definitely work with Misty again. We had such a great time doing this that I think we could definitely create something else. But right now I'm just kind of focused. I'm focusing on this, and then if this is a success, then I guess we could talk about other projects. But I definitely want to collaborate with Misty again. So I think that will happen again. It depends on if Misty can stand me for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, this is it. One and done.
No, that would be fantastic. Would love to work with Steve again. My next venture is definitely going to be just on my lonesome, but it was great to be introduced to the world of comics through Steve, who's so talented.
And I'm very glad to introduce Misty to the world of comics, because this is somebody that needs to be heard. This is somebody that needs to be seen, and this is somebody that needs to be given opportunities, because so talented, just so fun, easy to work with. She could draw too, you know what I mean? Like that's amazing. Like it's triple threat if anything. So I definitely hope after this people take notice and they start taking a look at Misty Graves comics and her horror stuff.
So kind of speaking, about holiday stuff, what's your favorite holiday special, and why is it Gremlins?
Gremlins is awesome. Like I've been luckily compared to Joe Dante but I love those movies. I love Gremlins. Gremlins 2 is amazing because it's just so random. I love Small Soldiers, which I just found out recently that was Joe Dante as well. But yeah, Gremlins is great. I'm a big Home Alone 2 fan, but I know Misty has her favorites as well.
Of like a Christmas movie?
Yeah, or special, or like Charlie Brown or Rudolph, or
I love the Family Matters one too. The Christmas special where she loses the doll and Steve Urkel goes to find it in the junkyard, and I'm like, that's good. That's good stuff.
Oh, that just unlocked a memory of the Saved by the Bell Christmas special, where Kelly and the gang are like, they get jobs at the mall, and there's a homeless girl who gets a job with Kelly, and she like saves up all her money to buy her dad a jacket, and then it gets accused of stealing the jacket, and it's like this it's a two-parter. It is a two-parter. But yeah, the Saved by the Bell Christmas special is really good. Buffy the Vampire Slayer Christmas special Amends is good. I've been meaning to watch that one. That's like on my list. I think I like spent some time watching very cool or like holiday TV episodes a couple days ago. Yeah,
and you can't go wrong with The Office. The Office has some good ones as well.
Oh yeah.
yeah, The Office Christmas special. I mean, the classic British Office Christmas special. Like I rewatched that during the pandemic and cried so hard, even though I knew what was going to happen. Like the way it's set up in the British Office is just so much better. Like the Jim and Pam thing, it's just so much better. Oh my god.
I always have the thing.
Thinking about it.
I'm not as familiar with the British Office as Misty is, but I always, with Jim and Pam, this might be the biggest like hate. I might get hate for this. Jim and Pam, if they were real people, I would not like them at all. Like they're just.
Jim is like borderline psychotic, not psychotic. He's like a sociopath, but he's a nice sociopath.
he bought a house for this woman that did, you know what I mean, after 2 weeks of dating, and there's a clown on the wall. Like, come on, man. Like, just
Well, she was mad about that. Yeah, she was mad about
and
that.
if you think about it, he moved in on a girl who was engaged. Like, that's a piece of shit in my book. You know what I mean? That's not a nice person. That's not somebody on the nice list.
Yeah.
Jim Halpert, you're not on the nice list. You know,
It
boom.
just, like, it kind of seemed like people who would be silently judging you all the time while you were like hanging out with them. You know, it wouldn't be very fun.
We recently introduced our 5-year-old to well, this weekend it was Home Alone and Home Alone 2, and he, I think, got a kick out of the guys getting hurt.
Home Alone 2 is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. It's so ridiculous, and it's you know, batshit crazy in certain ways, because it's just like the Home Alone 1, you get what's going on there. Like, you're like, all right, they left the kid at home, you know, whatever. He understands the meaning of Christmas. Home Alone 2, it's like, how did we get here? Like, how is it like, okay, they left him again. He's in New York, and then he somehow runs in the Sticky Bandits. Like, that's like a trifecta of what the heck? Like, you know what I mean? That is such a random thing.
Then there's also the house in New York has the same floor plan as the house at their house.
I think there should be a prequel about that. You know how they did Rogue One, like Star Wars, where they had the blueprints of you know, why the Death Star had, or why the Death Star had that, like a vulnerable point. It's just like, it's the same person in Home Alone, where it's like they made the same house again in New York.
And, you know, this kind of hit me, you know, watching it as an older, you know, adult and such. But at the end of Home Alone 2, when the father gets mad at Kevin for spending over almost $1,000 on room service, but he can afford, you know, to fly the entire family to Paris and then to Florida. And it's
we talked about this yesterday on another podcast.
Yeah.
Where like we both think that Kevin McAllister's dad was in the mob. Like, it has to be something, like there has to be some sort of mob tie. He's in Chicago. That doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, that's a
lot of mob movies.
Oh, sorry.
They have a lot of mob movies in their house.
That's right.
Yeah, you just see Mr. McAllister like with a thing of cocaine, like Scarface, watching angels with filthier souls eating pizza. Like,
see, I feel like he's kind of like a politics guy. Like, maybe he's like a governor or a senator, or like somebody who's connected but not like an elected official who just gets like kickbacks and does shady things.
That could be it. That kid has a tarantula. I just realized that too. The tarantula's like got to be expensive. It's not like a regular pet. Like, it's like, oh, we got this straight up thing from South Africa. This
exotic pets. Yeah, that seems like a mob thing.
Yeah, like weird pets. I'm sure. Imagine. Oh, that would be a great twist where they go into the basement. There's a tiger in there, and Marv and Harry just get eaten by a tiger.
You know, it's funny. What if Kevin McAllister turns into like an H.H. Holmes kind of guy? Like, when he reaches adulthood. Do you guys know who H.H. Holmes is?
You mean Sherlock, or no? Is that somebody else?
He's a different guy. He was a serial killer that was very active around the turn of the century. Kevin could have called
the police in the first movie at any time. He wanted to hurt them.
Well, they said he grew up to be Jigsaw, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah. H.H. Holmes, similar story. He built a 4-story like murder hotel in Chicago, and in the basement, they were like pits of acid and everything. It was
holy moly!
Like
I gotta do some more research. Yeah. Oh man, there's a documentary on Netflix about this guy. Speaking of like revenge and like building stuff, this guy got like screwed over by his like local politics or something like that, and he just went into it. He had money, so he went into his shop and just built a tank. He built the tank for months and then just released it onto the town. He didn't hurt anybody. He just like kind of damaged some property and things like that. But like, that is such a sick story. Like, this guy's working for months, like on this tank, and like everybody's like, nobody's seen him. And one day, just like it rolls through the town. I'll have to send you a link to that. It's amazing.
I feel like I've heard of that. I feel like I've heard that before. That's amazing that he built it himself.
He built it. Yeah, it took him like months to build this thing. but it was like reinforced. Like the cops couldn't stop it. He basically like offed himself because he got to that point where he was so upset. But like he was on a mission, and I mean, props. He didn't hurt anybody, but like props to that guy for fulfilling his dreams, I guess.
I can't imagine like staying that upset for as long as it takes to build a tank. Like literally,
I know. I would be halfway through. I'd be like, you know what? Maybe I should do something with my life. Maybe I should move. Maybe I should move. He could have moved, and he could have gone anywhere.
Just get a new life. Go hang out on a beach. Like go be a bartender in Malibu.
Imagine he's like almost there. He's like, well, I gotta finish this. I can't, like a Lego thing. Like I can't leave this shit in the house.
That's another thing. We got my son when he turned 5 a Lego thing, and they've become a whole lot harder.
Yeah. Well, just think with a tank. This guy built a tank. He built the reinforced everything. It's nuts.
Talk about holding a grudge. My goodness. Built a tank. That does sound like something that he like probably dreamed about forever. Just...
I mean, he didn't want to like hurt people. The movie's called Tread. For anybody watching this, go on Netflix. It's called Tread. And if you look it up on Google, you'll see he built his own tank. What happened next? It's just ridiculous.
What happened next?
So currently my son is into watching Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and he loves The Nightmare.
I think your son might be the next person we write this horror comic with. He likes people getting hurt, and he likes The Nightmare.
And he's also enjoys watching Christmas Vacation.
That's a good one too.
That one's great. That's the one with Chevy Chase? Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a while. Yeah. And
so here's I sent you guys the link. This is the Killdozer story.
Is that where the movie Killdozer came from?
I think Killdozer might have been before this. This was recent. He reached a dead end in his fight with the zoning commission. I love the article. The logical response would have been to petition them again and await a future response. Instead, he built the tank.
Instead. That's a big instead.
And speaking of holiday horror movies, even though it's not supposed to be one, but the Polar Express, creepy.
Oh yeah, that one came out right before CGI got like really, really good.
I've never seen Polar Express, but that's on my list. But because I like Tom Hanks and I like hot chocolate, and I know that there's the dance with the hot chocolate.
Well, they take the book and like add like, I don't know, 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure as a dad too, going through all these Christmas movies, I'm sure there's some that are really good and some you're like, man, I need this thing to end. This is too long.
Yeah.
All right. What is your worst Christmas movie? What is the worst Christmas movie you've seen?
The worst Christmas movie I've seen?
Yes.
Polar Express.
Mine is Christmas with the Cranks. That movie is god awful because these people, like Tim Allen is in it, Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis, and they just wanted to go on vacation. They've had enough of Christmas. They're like, listen, we're tired. There's a lot of stuff that happened in the year. We want to just take a vacation. The town, for some reason, is just so nosy about this. They're like, oh, you're ruining Christmas by not doing this. So they have to have like a Christmas thing because of it. It's like, these people just want to go on vacation. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone.
Jingle All the Way also doesn't hold up.
Really? I love Jingle All the Way, but I know what I'm getting into when I watch it. I know I'm not watching Godfather 2 or a real like a Christmas Story or anything.
Oh, I hate A Christmas Story.
You do? Why? Probably because they overplay it.
No, that is just not a good story. So yes, that's my
stories.
That's the worst Christmas movie ever. Is A Christmas Story.
And Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I'll say that. The girl's name is Holly.
What else do you need?
That's the line. That's where me and Misty Graves disagree, and we never talked after that. We were done. Ex Machina is over.
It was a great collaboration, and then they talked about Die Hard.
Yep, and then it was over.
Die Hard, I feel like Die Hard is as multifaceted as Ex Machina. You know,
There
it's
you go. There you
horror,
go.
it's action,
That
it's
works.
Christmas. It's
Way to bring it back around.
yeah.
So, as we wrap up here, kind of give the one last pitch and where people can find you on the social medias and all that good stuff.
Sure. So if you Google Misty Graves, you'll found out about Misty Graves' past, which is not. I'm only like somebody did a Google search of Misty Graves, and they found there is another Misty Graves that went to prison, and it is not the same Misty Graves. This Misty Graves is on the nice list. She would not murder anybody.
Yeah, I guess there's like a Misty Graves that legit has the real name Misty Graves, who went to prison for murdering someone. And there's like a line in the court document when they asked why she did it. She said something like, "I just felt like shooting someone."
Which is a good
Some
way
days you do.
with that street cred.
I can't top that. I might have to change my name now. She's the OG. You know, how am I supposed to top that? Yeah,
she has a nice candy cane tattoo right under the eye there. But to find us on socials, I guess Mr. Graves say the real spiel.
Okay. You can find us on Instagram at xmachina1, also Twitter xmachina1, across the board xmachina1, and Steve Urena on Instagram.
The Steve Urena, and then on Instagram you could also Instagram and Twitter, and then you could find Misty Graves on Twitter at Misty Graves Comics.
Oh, Misty Graves on Instagram at Misty Graves Comics. I'm no longer on Twitter for like security reasons.
and that kind of inspired Ex Machina, where everything is kind of watching you, and the Amazon echoes who are recording conversations. Like Santa is the ultimate spy, if you think about it. Like he watches you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. If Santa was bad, we'd be in a police state.
Yeah, like the evil version of Santa is the police state, like the panopticon.
I know once you've searched personalized like gifts for people, you get some weird ads on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's like this company that they'll make a full pillow out of somebody's picture. That's just creepy.
That's ridiculous.
That's like the only way to use that properly is to get a ridiculous face on the pillow. Like it's gotta be somebody silly.
I think you take one of those dogs. Like I would put my pug on that and give it to somebody.
Yeah. Who'd be a funny person to put on a Christmas pillow, or just like
you got to get the guy from Polar Express.
Just get a random scene from Polar Express.
CGI. What is this?
It's like freaky, uncanny valley robot face.
That's right. There's plenty of people for that, but yeah, a body pillow. That's a great Christmas gift, I guess.
Because and then for some reason I don't know what algorithm that I tripped on, but I'm getting ads for body armor now.
Well, you got to put the body armor on the body pillow because you need to protect your assets.
There you go.
And that's the commercial right there.
Were you Googling like moving to Texas?
I do post a lot of
body pillow at night, body armor during the day.
Yeah. So, want to do one final pitch for the book, and then before we head out of here?
Sure, sounds good. Who do you want to do it? Do you want me to do it? Do you want her to do it? Do you want us
whoever
both
wants to do it? If you want to both do it, All
right, I'll start and Misty will finish.
Okay.
So, can Santa save Christmas from a robot uprising?
I don't know, Kenny.
Support the Kickstarter.
Find out an Ex Machina 1 live on Kickstarter. We are past 100 backers as of this moment. We are still rolling. We're rolling until January 30th, February, I think at midnight or something like that. So please back the comic. If you like Christmas, if you like sci-fi, if you like comedy, if you like horror, it's all of the above. And it's definitely something for your stocking.
Well, Steve, always a pleasure to talk to you, and nice to meet you, Misty. And if you guys could do another one next year or something before then, love to have you back.
Awesome. We'd love to have. We love being on this podcast, and thank you for supporting indie comics, and thank you for having fun with our ridiculousness.
Well, thank you for putting up with the technical difficulties.
Oh! I think you should go back and see what we were doing, because we were just having fun. We weren't on the thing, so you might want to put that into
a gag reel.
Yeah, a gag reel or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
thank you so much for having us on. Thank you for supporting, and thank you enough. We can't thank you enough. I don't know if you wanted to talk about the artist. Lane Lloyd is the artist on our comic, and Lane is just amazing and so creative and so awesome at building this world that we put together. Lane deserves all the credit, and we couldn't have done it without them.
And I'm sure I probably asked that question, and it that's when the signal blipped out, and
no worries. But Lane is awesome. If you're looking for art, if you're looking to create a comic, Lane is the person for you. That they could do anything.
So when you watch this video and you see a star swipe, we were talking about.
Just say it's the future, man. Everything is the future. We're moving into the future. That's all it is.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, and enjoy your holiday. And we'll be talking to you. And good luck on the Kickstarter.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
All right. Thank you.